MBS here. Well, I'm now going to be looking at this same carby I just did the solenoid on not long ago, and we're going to be looking at the automatic choke setup and reasons why you can't get the car to idle down to idle speed. In other words, there's something holding the throttle open, and it's usually the automatic choke on one of these carburetors. This is an Asian. Mikuni have got the same sort of setup where it's got two water pipes going into the front, and it heats up a wax pellet just like a thermostat, and it pushes the rod out and starts to open the choke. Well, that basically controls your choke operation. It cools back down, the choke comes back on. So we're going to show you the couple of adjustments on the linkages here, which are quite complicated, and I don't blame people for not understanding what's going on, why they can't get it to idle down, but I hope I can explain it to you and show you by pictures or video exactly what's going on. There are other reasons why it could stick on too, and we'll look at the back of this carburetor because on the back there's a deceleration dash pot. This also has a linkage on here that I've removed. There was a diaphragm vacuum operated, which is a step-up idle. So if you have vacuum applied to that, that may be holding your idle speed up without you knowing. So I've removed that, but there basically is an adjustment for that. There's a screw. I've stolen it actually to put into the fast idle. But anyway, at the moment this thing is sitting with choke on, so cold, but it's not really cold. It's already 25 degrees up here. If I was in Victoria, this would be shut pretty solid, and you would have to readjust a few things on the linkages to compensate for the different areas you live in, and we'll show you how to do that, the screw that's responsible for that. So this is going to be difficult because of the complexity of the linkages, but we're going to try and do the best we can with this close-up camera I've got, and we'll see if we can well, hopefully to get rid of the mystery of all the linkages that are in there. Now, let's see if we can maneuver this so you can see everything. So there you can see the choke is virtually shut. Okay, so the linkage is responsible for that. I'm going to have to shift so I can see it from behind. Is this big lever here. It's connected to a gear drive up here, which is then connected to that spline, which controls your choke shaft. You can see there I could actually open it quite easily because that's just freewheeling, and all the pressure on this is applied from that lever. You'll see this roller just here. That roller is rubbing up against this little cam here, and that's controlling fast idle, which is adjusted through this little screw down the bottom here. Quite hidden. It's very hard to see when it's in the car, and people may actually miss it and not know that it's actually there. And if they do know it's there, they don't know what it's for. But that controls your fast idle. And I can demonstrate that. I haven't got a return spring from there to there, but we can see that if I want it to idle faster, I would screw that, and you can see the linkage increasing. Okay, that's opening throttle that way. So you can see the fast idle increases, and hopefully that'll bring it back. All right, so what we're going to do is look at this adjustment just here, this little screw, and that controls how hard you pull this choke on. So I'm going to take this actual little nut off so you can actually see a little better what's going on. And I'm also I'll leave that on for the time being, and you'll see that by adjusting this screw, see the idle speed is backing off actually, and the choke is opened. Okay, so you can actually control how tight you want this spring to be on the choke actuation. Colder weather, you would screw this out a little bit further and have this shutting reasonably. It's not tight. You don't ever want to shut this tight. Then it'll be oversprung and it'll take ages for your choke to come off. All right. So I generally set them so that the butterfly is just shut with not much force on it. See, I need to strengthen it a little bit. That's a little bit too loose. So I would just back that out a bit, and that'll tighten it. And that will do for the weather up here. Alright, so then you'd lock that up, so that's adjusted your choke. Now, we're going to test the wax stat in this to see if it actually works. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to disconnect the entire choke system so that it actually doesn't work. Alright, so we're going to put some air onto this now, and what you'll notice is this linkage here will move down as the wax stat thermostat pushes out against this adjusting nut here, and then that round rod will fall above that and then allow the idle screw to be able to be set, as long as this screw here isn't adjusted too far in. So between this screw and this screw, you can adjust how hard your choke is and what idle speed it idles at. So let's get some heat into this. I'll try not to get in the way, and we'll watch the choke come off. Okay, there you just saw the idle come off as that roller came off that ramp. And now we should be able to adjust the idle speed, providing this screw here isn't adjusted up too far. So let's see if the actual throttle moves now. Yes, it does. So this has come back to idle nicely. So if it's not, have a look at the adjustment here, that your choke is adjusted right. Have a look at that screw underneath there, that it's adjusted correctly. And obviously you want to make sure that this thermostat wax in there is actually working. These things pack it in very, very early. I haven't seen one that actually works. This is probably the first one in a long time that I've actually seen working. So that's pretty good. If that doesn't get you anywhere, oh, that's a bit hot, have a look at the back of your carburetor. There's your dash pot. This is meant to slow your idle down. So when you bring it back, it hits that dash pot. I've actually got this screw backed off, so this screw here may be responsible. So if we were to screw this up too far, the dash pot would kill it and we wouldn't come back to idle. See, I have to push that very hard to get that to come back. Okay, so that could be a problem for you. So easy enough, back that off or get rid of that dash pot. However, if you get rid of this dash pot and you stab the throttle and engine cuts out when it comes back to idle, you'll have to fit that dash pot and just stop it from coming back as quickly. Easily done. They are adjustable, and then you've got that screw there as well. So that's another reason you could have a jammed up throttle that doesn't want to come back to idle properly. And that's about it, folks. There's not much more to these. If you ever pull one of these apart and you play around with this quadrant, good luck to you. You're playing with danger there, trying to set that up. But if you actually want to disconnect the whole setup, you may be able to do it through the screw on the side here. Just adjust it all the way in, and hopefully that will disengage this lever in here and allow that roller to go over the top. Okay. Or I don't think you'll get it by taking the screw right out. I think if you still have that screw in there and you take it right out, I think this roller here will still be in contact with that cam just in there. So if it's touching there, there's a good chance that it's going to idle high. Alright guys, I don't think I can do much more with showing you the choke linkage and things that could be holding your throttle open. Like I said, this one here, I do believe Suzuki Sierra have that dash pot there for when you turn headlights on or something like that. This lever here, we'll see how that come up off idle. Then we'll take that back to idle. Boom, headlights on, throttle opens a bit. Okay, so that's what that one's for. And there'll be an adjustment there somewhere, obviously, how fast you want that to idle as well. So a few adjustments there. Painful, very complicated linkages. But yeah, that's what I do. I play around with these things all day, every day, years and years ago. So we got to know these linkages pretty well and how they work over the years. And I'm always learning something new. But not anymore because I just don't deal with carburetors much now. Just Hollies and Strombergs is about all I do these days. So yeah, but while I had this carby, I thought I'd do those couple of jobs on it because I have seen on Facebook a lot of comments of people saying, why doesn't my car idle, or why is my idle too fast and I can't drop it back. And I hopefully there I've explained that to you and the linkages you need to look at to sort that problem out. And as I said earlier, Mikuni is much the same. They use that wax pellet in there for your auto choke, and there may be other brands that do that as well. Okay guys, that's about it. See you in another.